What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Destiny 2 Joker's Wild video and chase. We'll be going over the Stormcaller changes and if I believe the Stormcaller has improved in 2.2.1. So in general, the Stormcaller Super, it actually got it's kind of like a ramp-up effect, so damage scales up to 150% over 5 seconds of continuous use of attack. So if you hold down the tickle fingers for 5 seconds, the damage just consistently goes up. So that's a change that's up there, and it has updated effects and audio to support this functionality. You can clearly hear it. The Stormcaller Super has changed, like when you pop it, like you can clearly hear it. It's definitely different. First, let's go over the Stormcaller Attunement of Conduction. This is the top tree Stormcaller. Let's go over the Chain Lightning melee. Now it can chain up to 5 times, up from 1, and each individual target can be hit twice. So that's pretty interesting. So you can hit up to like 6 enemies, which is pretty insane, and the lightning can come back and chain them, which is cool. The chain damage got decreased from 50 to 31 damage per hit. I totally understand why that is. Because like if you still have the same damage and you can hit multiple targets, like that's gonna be a little overpowered. So they just like bump down the damage just a little bit. Going over the perk Arc Web, essentially like this is where you throw a grenade and you can actually chain lightning a bunch of enemies with your grenade. But basically it increases the chain range from 10 to 12 meters. It can now chain to many more targets and back and forth between targets, so you actually get some extra damage there. That's insane. And let's go over chaining arc damage. Now reduces the cooldown of your grenade, so that's a new part of the perk. Works with arc web chains and chains from chain lightning melee, so all those count. So any chain lightning actually reduces your the cooldown of that grenade. You earn 3% energy per instance of damage in PvE, and you earn 10% energy per instance of damage in PvP. Let's talk about PvE for the Attunement of Conduction. I personally think it's always been good, especially with the Chain Lightning. You pair it with something like Crown of Tempest. It's definitely an ad clearing machine, and now that you can actually chain it a lot more and have more access to your grenade ability to be able to, I mean, the whole thing is about conduction, right? It says Attunement of Conduction. The whole point is so you can actually like chain lightning enemies, which you can now do more of with the melee and the grenade, which is pretty cool. So I personally like it. I think it feels really, really good for PvE. I know a lot of people like the Slow-Mo Bomb Warlock with the Skull of Dire Hamkara. That's great and all, but if you want something that's gonna like be able to last a long time, especially with Crown of Tempest, this thing is insane. I actually took it into Blind Well, and you actually get that perk to where it reduces the cooldown of your super, your grenade, and your melee ability. It's insane. I literally had my super back in probably like 3 seconds. Like that's how fast you can get this thing back, especially in Blind Well and stuff like that. It's pretty good in PvE. Going over PvP, I think a lot of people like this one because you actually have the Ionic Blink, which allows you to blink away in your super. I feel like that, like either the cooldown got reduced on it or you don't go as far. I don't know if that's just me. You can kind of tell from the gameplay, but I did manage to get some really good perks. I actually put on Crown of Tempest for this specifically because the whole thing is about getting cooldowns for your abilities, and I was like, well, I might as well put on Crown of Tempest so I can actually get more cooldowns. I can get my super faster if I actually get kills with a grenade, and if people are going to be teamed up, they're actually going to get zapped a lot more with an arc grenade, because if they're all standing near each other, like it's going to chain lightning like it would with something like Risk Runner or Trinity Ghoul or something like that. So that was pretty cool. The melee is a melee, you know what I mean? So if you're going to go up to a team and use that Chain Lightning melee, you might be able to pop something off, but in all likelihood, from what I saw, it's very, very rare, especially with that damage reduction. But still, I think it feels really good. Attunement of Conduction was probably the go-to before Chaos Reach came into play, and I think it still feels really, really good for PvP. Now let's go over bottom tree. This is Stormcaller Attunement of Elements. So we have the Electrostatic Surge, increased bonus regeneration rate of Rift by 600% per nearby friendly guardian. That has a huge increase, Added a UI notification when the buff is active. So yeah, you can actually see it on the left side when you're near teammates. Now extends Rift duration from 15 to 20 seconds, which is pretty freaking solid. And going over the Arc Soul perk, it actually extended the duration from 8 to 12 seconds. Going over PvE, again, like, I think Stormcaller in general, you're obviously going to want to rock Crown of Tempest for that, but I don't think Attunement of Elements is as good as the Attunement of Conduction when it comes to ad clearing and stuff like that, because the two main perks on here, basically, it talks about the Arc Soul. Like, that's the main point of the perk, right? You're trying to get your Rift back faster, you're trying to get those Arc Souls for your teammates, pop a healing Rift, all of that great jazz, which is almost useless in PvE, especially if you're doing it solo. I mean, it just depends on the situation, really. But I think when it comes to PvE, Attunement of Conduction is the way to go. It has a lot more ad clearing capabilities. and a lot more ability regeneration. Like, I'm not saying it's horrible. You can definitely go in and use it. Like, you obviously get the like the lightning crash or whatever that is, where you can launch that lightning bolt down straight to the ground right at first, which is great and all, but again, this is kind of it focuses on the Arc Soul specifically. Now, going over PvP, I actually ended up using the Getaway Artist, which was pretty entertaining because I could always have an Arc Soul popped, which was cool. So what I kind of do is I kind of like pop my rift around teammates so they could all run through it and get an Arc Soul. And the more nearby teammates you have, the faster regeneration of that rift you get. So I could keep popping off rifts, and then if I'm not in a rift or I don't have it, I can always pop my own Arc Soul with that. Basically, like, more damage, like faster fire rate. Like, you basically just run around the map with an Arc Soul constantly, which is pretty cool. I will give it that. If you like using the Arc Soul, then this is definitely really good. I know for myself, I occasionally like using Getaway Artist. It definitely takes down your TTK when it comes to PvP. The regular Arc Soul from the Rift, obviously it's going to be a lot less effective, but still it can technically take down that time to kill. I'm not saying it felt like horrible. Like, to be honest, like, it's pretty cool that I get my Rift back a lot faster. You get more Arc Souls. Your teammates get Arc Souls as well. But I know for if you're a team player, that's the way to go, but I know for myself, Attunement of Conduction felt a lot better for PvP. We're now at the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, but there are 3 things I want to go over. First up, my clan, the D1 Fire Team, is looking for active players in the Destiny community. Our members play all sorts of activities from casual PvE and PvP to the endgame content. If you're actively playing Destiny 2 and want the benefits of a bigger clan, the link to join is below. It'll say clan link. All you have to do is request to join, and myself or one of the admins will approve you. If you're with a smaller clan and want the benefits of a bigger clan, and you have, like, let's say, like 7 to 10 members, I'm just using that as an example, but if you want to come over, just send me a message on any of my social media links and we'll try to get something set up. Number 2, if you want to know how to support me, there's a link below that says best way to support me. That'll take you to a 4-minute video. If you want to go check that out, that would be awesome. But if you don't want to do that, you can always like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video, and all that good jazz if you want to do any of those things. Lastly, we have a link to the community Discord below. Just a heads up, we're looking for anyone with moderator experience to potentially run the Discord. I know for myself, I'm more of a player instead of a manager, so if you have some moderator experience, just send me a message and we'll try to get something set up. I know for myself, I'm on Xbox, but if you guys would like to talk or chat with me, Discord is going to be the best way to do those things. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. We'll catch you next time.